1 minute.
Welcome, race fans, to the Racing Roundup Show. For 39 years and counting, we are your destination for news and interviews from within the Wisconsin racing scene, the upper Midwest, and the world of motorsports. Thank you for joining us for America's longest-running weekly motorsports program held in front of a live audience. You still have time to join the racing crowd live and in person for tonight's show. And now, here is the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Racing Roundup program. It is Tuesday night, May 23rd. We're hanging out here with the Polly's Pub and Eatery. Great-looking race cars. We got classic cars. We got trophies. We've got helmets. We've got T-shirts to give away after the show from our great guests tonight. So thanks, everybody, for participating in this wonderful program. It's our 39th season already. It's a big month of May. We got a lot to talk about here on the program. Again, we're live at Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield, right across from the Milwaukee Mile. They're running Brewer shuttles tonight. Every home game, they got Brewer shuttles. Every big concert in town, they've got shuttles to that too. Just a couple of drinks and you're on the bus to and from. The shuttles are courtesy of Polly's Pub and Eatery. We're fortunate tonight to have great supporters on our program, including Automatic Transmission Design, the Midwest Truck Series, and Polly's Pub and Eatery. They all help our show matter, so support them, please. Look for their logos on our website, racingroundupshow.com. Click on those website, their logos, and support them, please. Tonight's program, we've got asphalt turned stock car modified driver and champion Andy Welter. He's got his beautiful number 32 dirt mod out front. We have Super Late Model Championship winning drivers for Gildan Racing. John Beal and Dalton Zier are joining us. They're here tonight. They brought a bunch of giveaways. Thanks, guys. Our Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup Short Track Spotlight shines on 2022 CK Contractors Autometer Wisconsin Wingless Sprints champion Clayton Rossman. Thank you coming down, Clayton, for bringing Dad and a couple of shirts to give away after the show. We'll visit with next generation MSA 360 wing sprint car racer Alex Pokorski, who brought the Pokorski Motorsports number 4 with that gold leaf on it. That's sitting right out front here as well at Polly. So bring the camera, bring the kids, and have some fun with us. Dean Strom is here, fresh off his fine hosting job a week ago. Thank you, Dean, for filling in as I was playing race car announcer at the rained-out North Wilkesboro Speedway that ran Wednesday night last week. We'll get you up to speed on that in a Bonafide Security Solutions short track report, along with Dean's information. And our first guest tonight, you want to know more about this trophy right here. He has the family lineage, 60 years of the Indy 500 heritage, 3 Indy 500 victories, more than a handful of USAC national championships. We're happy to be joined tonight by Greg Wilkie, who is here with us for our first segment of the program. We'll get right to it after these messages from our great sponsors on this program. We've been here for 39 years and counting because of great folks. So listen to these ads, spend your money with these fine folks. They make the show possible. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Add value and beauty to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Hey gang, Richie Bickle here. I want you to join us for the largest short track party at sea. Sail the Eastern Caribbean on the Norwegian Encore this coming January 7th to the 14th. Join Scott Hansen and myself and a bunch of other drivers on Bickle's Bon Voyage cruise. Enjoy unlimited craft beer, drinks, gourmet food. You might even get to race against it on the go-kart. We'll have a special question and answer session with the racers on board, and I know it'll be a ton of fun. Escape the January winter weather. We'll see you in the Dominican Republic, Tortola, and the Bahamas, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Sail the Caribbean with us January 7th through the 14th on Bickle's Bon Voyage. Call Mark at Making Memories Travel at 262-527-1341 or visit mymmtravel.com and click on Bickle's Bon Voyage. Link for information.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help you with your spring cleaning. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Dallas, Waukesha, and Milwaukee, right next to Miller Park. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Need a pack and move? Well, we do a lot of them. And we have all the proper materials to pack your belongings safe and sound so they arrive in the same condition as they went out in. Packing boxes, bubble wrap, mirror packs, lamp boxes, dish packs. We get the job done right. Packed and labeled properly so it all ends up in the right spot in your new place. This is Rick Vanderboom. Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage will improve your move.
BlueMountainExpress.com. We will improve your move.
Statewide.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back, everybody, for this Tuesday evening gathering. You can turn your recycled metals into cash. Who doesn't need cash this time of year? Summer's here. Got to spend a lot of money on our yard, hanging out with friends, going to events and racetracks. Allied Resource Recovery is your destination with your recyclables. Turn them into cash today at ARR West Dallas at 80th and Burnham, ARR Waukesha Recycling at 1001 Tesh Court, and you can cash in at National Salvage on South 44th Street across from where the Milwaukee Brewers play. Their website, AlliedResourceRecovery.com. We got some great giveaways tonight. Bottles of Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, racing t-shirts, die-cast cars, racing hats, some vintage racing calendars from Mike Weber from Racing Wisconsin. He's got about 6 guys over there wearing the Racing Wisconsin shirts, celebrating 8,000 members strong on Facebook. We also have a big thank you to our guests tonight. Andy Welter brought some racing t-shirts. So did Gildan Racing. John Beal and Dalton Zier brought some t-shirts, hats, can koozies, and a travel blanket. Also, thank you to Clayton Rossman for bringing a couple of his team t-shirts. You can see him racing for wins in the Wisconsin Wingless Series and support him along the way. If you win one of those shirts tonight, it can happen. Come on down and join the racing crowd and have some fun with us. Program reminder, next Tuesday, May 30th, we are live at the Cellar in Oak Creek. We're taking our show on the road. Our first DeAngelis Construction Road Show of the year will be at the Cellar in Oak Creek, 812 West Oakwood Road in Oak Creek, for Oak Creek Automotive Night. A lot of great racers will be there with us, so join the racing crowd next Tuesday night, 1 week from tonight, at the Cellar in Oak Creek for May 30th, our first remote show of our season. Quick couple of notes. Congrats to Road America for hosting a sizable crowd. The SVRA vintage guys were in town. They said it's the biggest crowd they ever had at Road America. On a beautiful weekend at Road America's Elkhart Lakes Road America. Repeating his vintage stock car class champ, hats off to our friend Brad Dahmer of D8 Sales and Service in Sheboygan. Nice job, Bradley. This coming Saturday night, I'll be live on the call of the 75th Lucas Oil Little 500 at Anderson Speedway in Anderson, Indiana. It's going to be special 11 rows of 3 pavement sprint cars on the high bank quarter mile for 500 laps. I get to work alongside Sprint Car Hall of Famer Dave Argerbite for that one. That'll be fun. Live on Flow Racing, with airing later on Monday night, All-American Racing back on MAV TV. This Sunday, I'll be attending the Indy 500 with 2 of my high school buddies, and for the first time with my son, Sam. Can't wait to do that with Sam and enjoy the moment, and got the guy next to me to thank here in just a quick sec. An update from the Indy 500. The Indy 500, they qualified over the weekend in various formats. They set the field of 33. Missing the show was Graham Rahal until today. Stephen Wilson crashed in practice yesterday. He's suffered an injury, and Graham Rahal will take over the Dry and Reinbold number 24 to make the 33-car field complete. Rahal in, Stephen Wilson on the mend for this Sunday's Indy 500. The front row, Alex Palou, Renus VK with Milwaukee-based Direct Supply sponsorship, and Felix Rosenquist, all 3 qualified, averaging over 234 miles per hour over the 4 laps. Santino Ferrucci starts 4th in the Beloit-based ABC Supply-sponsored car. You can't miss the car. It's patriotic red, white, and blue, but ABC Supply actually said, let's give some exposure to our AJ Foyt racing team. ABC Supply is going to match up to $1 million in support of Homes for Our Troops, a nonprofit group that builds and donates specially adapted homes for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. That's pretty cool to see that on the car. So you can donate, and they'll match up to $1 million. Let's bring in a National Midget Auto Racing Hall of Famer, representing over 70 years of family racing involvement, dating back to the 30s in midgets. On a national stage, they won championships across the board. Welcome in Greg Wilkie. How you doing, Greg? Good to see you. Thanks for coming down.
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Jim.
I convinced you. I said, if I get tickets to the Indy 500 through you guys, could you bring them to the show and have you on for a few minutes? And you brought some cool hardware with you. Thanks for doing that. I feel the privilege of being in the Wilkie seats for the Indy 500. It's going to be kind of cool. What'd you bring?
Once again, thanks for having me. And just a primary reason I'm here is to deliver him a ticket. But he threw me a bone and put me up here today. And I had brought this. He wanted me to bring something significant. And this is a trophy that was awarded to my grandfather for winning the 59 Indy 500. The Borg Warner, which you see, the big one, is not really something you take home. Nowadays, they got mini Borg Warners, but this is from 1959, and it was a car owner's trophy. I think Ray Bestis sponsored it, and it's about 40 pounds, so that's about as significant as I got.
So well-earned chunk of metal. If you're not familiar with the Wilkie Racers out of Milwaukee, the leader card racing team, 1939 or so, your grandfather started racing midgets. You guys got involved in Indy cars as a sponsor in 1958, sponsoring a car at the Indy 500. Your grandfather, Bob, said, you know what? I think I'll get my own car for next year. 1959, first time as an owner, first time sponsoring his leader card special. Bob Wilkie, A.J. Watson, Judd Phillips, and their driver Roger Ward won the Indy 500 in 1959. Won it in 62 with Roger Ward and won it in 68 with Bobby Unser. That's a special place to be. Three-time owner champions at the Indy 500. But your family's done a whole bunch. This is 60, 70 years running now, Greg. This has got to be nothing but what you know best. You don't know anything else. You know racing. You guys are good at it.
Well, as most of the people in the room here are racers, they know that that's something that is in your blood, handed down from generations before you, and sometimes you're not smart enough to quit, which is the case for our family. And, my grandfather set the bar high. He started out in the 30s. He used to visit the Marchese brothers. They had midgets, and grew up in the neighborhood and hung around their shop, and kind of caught the racing bug then. And like Jimmy said, he got involved promoting at the Speedway here in Milwaukee for years. Finally decided he wanted to be a car owner, and started out quite successful. And that led to 3 Indy 500 wins, multiple national championships. When I was younger, matter of fact, it's still hard to believe. I just joined the old timers down at the Speedway. I'm a member, and I was sure I wasn't old enough, but they confirmed that I definitely am, unfortunately. But it's a long time ago. When I hung out there and helped a bunch, and I had the opportunity to work on the Indy cars, but in the late 80s, late 70s, early 80s, we basically had the budget just big enough to get in the way. And I didn't want to just get in the way, so I started to build my own cars. And that was at the midgets. And I spent a long time between the midgets and the Silver Crowns the last, since 1979 till maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, doing that, and we had the budget and the knowledge to do that at a very competitive, respectful level.
Greg Wilkie's father, Ralph, fielded Indy cars through the 1994 season, so a long time involvement in Indy cars, including 2 Silver Crown championships when they split the dirt and the pavement in 1971. Boom, first-time winners of that. George Ziggy Snyder drove Ralph Wilkie's car to the first ever USAC Dirt Car Championship. Looking down the list, 1983, Greg and Mark kind of combined. They got 8 National Midget Car Owner Championships, 6 USAC IndyCar Championships, 2 USAC Silver Crown Championships. The National Midget Championships come in 84, 2005, 2007. And the Badger Midget Championships, 10-time winners of the Pepsi Nationals. I could go on, but you guys had it really good with a lot of good drivers. And I love the fact that LeaderCardRacers.com has a lot of faces that came across you guys and said, I want to race with the best. I want to race your stuff. And you have a collage of drivers' faces that have raced with you over time. And that, to me, is just states a whole lot. A Milwaukee-based family, big into racing, and you get some of the biggest, best drivers that say, I want to run your stuff, and you run for championships with the best of them.
Well, we probably could, make a list easier describing the drivers that haven't drove for our family. But, my grandfather fielded very competitive race cars, and he's had pretty much anybody, whether it's Foyt, Andretti, Unsers, all drive his race cars. When I started out with the midgets, I kind of took advantage of all the young, good race car drivers that wanted to run my father's Indy car, so they'd run my midget. It wasn't a, it was a competitive car, and so I was fortunate to have, start out with Kevin Olson, Stan Fox, Johnny Parsons, Ken Schrader, Rich Vogler and Stevie Reeves, and I'm very fortunate to have a lot of great drivers. And if you go to our website, like Jimmy says, I think we have them all listed in alphabetical orders from the 30s, and I don't know, there's hundreds of them, and I'm sure there's some that are missing. So
I went on facial recognition alone in my failing memory. On the photo wall, the ones that I got to see race the Wilkie Midget, Stan Fox, Rich Vogler, Dan Boer, Davey Ray, Paige Jones actually got to run your Silver Crown car. Pavement tested IRP, I'll never forget. I went down with the Wilkie guys. First time Paige was in a Silver Crown car on pavement. What a fun time that was, and what a great talent he is. He remembered more about that test when I saw him at the Chili Bowl years later than I do. But the neat thing about it is you get surrounded by these guys. I'm going to throw some names at you. Other faces I saw on that mural wall: AJ, Mario, Parnelli, Sneva, Stewart, Schrader, Hewitt, Jeff Gordon, Gary B., the Swindell brothers, Big Al, Clausen, Pickens, Wyndham, Cody Swanson, Darlin, Tony Elliott, Kevin Doty, Cruzman, Herc, Brad Kuhn, Andy Michner, Billy Vukovic III. That's just some of the guys I recognized. When it comes to the equipment, you have that reputation, Greg, and I know great pride in the fact that wherever you guys raced, you got a shot to win. And it wasn't about trying to compete. It was about, I need to win this race. What can we do different? And I'll tell you right now, I'll tell it to you as he's sitting next to me, you're still one of the smartest guys I've ever seen turn a wrench. And you built your own race cars. You won a championship with your own midget that you restored and showed off here across the street in February. That's got to be kind of cool knowing that you got that kind of lineage and then that knowledge. Wait a minute. You rebuilt the car from your own notes that won a championship in midgets. That's pretty cool.
Well, when I first started, it was important that I build my own car because I just liked working with my hands. And I remember I have a library card. I used it once to go to the Milwaukee Public Library to take a book out on how to weld. Literally, that's the only time I used it. And so, I mean, it was a fun process. I ended up building my own race cars through the 80s. After a while, I worked with some car constructing people that would sponsor me, and because there was a lot of work into building your own cars back then, and they're not as disposable as they are nowadays. So, but the part I enjoyed was doing everything with my own hands, and I still to this day I'm building a reproduction of the Roadster that won this car.
Wow!
And it's been very time taking. It takes a lot more time because a lot of time trying to find the right parts. And I was in Indy this weekend, and I went to the photo gallery they have upstairs at the museum and found 3 additional photos that kind of prove some of the stuff I'm doing is wrong. So I had to redo some of that today. so
Perfectionist beyond compare. You built 3 beautiful restoration cars of your own. You showed them off across the street. You won awards for the display. But in reality, each car tells a chapter of the story of you guys in midget racing. What 3 cars did you restore and show off that hopefully people get to see again sometime?
Well, my father, before he passed, we had both bought back my grandfather's original Curtis Craft Offie from 1947. And we bought it. It was about 99% original, and we completely restored that. I had finished it right before my father passed, so we got to enjoy it. And then I wasn't able to acquire my father's midget, so I recreated it, his midget, which would have been when my grandfather got Indy cars. My grandfather told my dad, "You need to get a midget because Ward needs to run it to stay busy, and Branson needs to run it." Some names you young guys probably don't recognize.
I do.
So
I'm not that young.
My dad had a midget, and he had, whether it was Parnelli Jones, Jim Hurtubise, Roger Ward, Don Branson drove it. That was his baby. It was a white number 4. So I recreated that. And then I was able to buy back the first car I ever built, that one Turkey Night and a couple Badger Championship, USAC Championship, Badger Championship. So I restored that. And I just do that because I like staying busy. And then they turn out, according to most people, really nice. And then I throw a blanket on it and put it on the shelf. So
one car you decided to part with in the family collection was at Mecum Auctions. You were there shepherding the car, making sure it was to spec. A Dan Gurney Eagle Indy 500 driven car. what was the lineage behind that and the purpose and the joy you got in making sure someone else could carry on the fun and legacy of that car?
Well, most of the significant vehicles that our family had, the Indy winners, we have 2 Indy winners that we've donated to the Indianapolis Speedway Museum, our 62 winner and our 68 winner. Back in the 60s when the museum would come and say, hey, would you donate this car? You would say, wow, great, yeah, I'll do that. Well, it wasn't shortly after that in the 70s when everybody realized, I'll put it on loan, but I'm not giving you my multi-million-dollar race car. So all of our significant value cars are sitting in museums or collections, which is good. That's, they're there for people to see. We had retained one 68 Eagle that didn't have a real strong racing history. Mike Mosley was leading the 1972 Indy 500 when a right front hub broke and he crashed. And that car was never left our possession. It was fully restored like it ran that day, turbo offy. And it's been sitting in the shop on the shelf for, since early in the 70s, So, and it really didn't have a strong history in our family. So, but it turned out to have quite a significant value that others were interested in, so we sent it to auction.
And you got to meet them. You got treated like royalty. I'm guessing there was like a 5-minute video. They came and sat you down and talked about the car and showed some footage. I mean, it was kind of a well-done piece to say, this is why we're giving this opportunity at Mecum for somebody to buy it. That had to be kind of cool going through that.
I've raced with the Mecum boys, and I knew the family, but I've never had a vehicle auction, and they really do a number one job. They're amazing. They marketed our vehicle. Everybody in the world, anybody that would have had an interest knew about it, and they really maximize the value. They do great work. If you ever, I'm not one there buying those kind of vehicles. I'm not a car guy. I'm a race car guy. Big difference, So
the difference is you care about a lot of things, and I see your shirt you're wearing says the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500. This is part of your family history. Your son Chris got a rare opportunity also to get some laps around the Brickyard. That would be kind of cool to be part of that too.
Yeah, the car we had stole. We got it up and running, and he was able to run around the track at the I think the 100th we ran down there. And after he was done, I was going to drive it, but he had wore the clutch out, and I didn't get to drive it. So
he did race a lot of things. Just so you know, Chris was not the guy that you want to maybe get in after.
Well, the Wilkies are owners and builders. We're either too chicken
Mark
or
tried driving.
Too
your brother
smart to drive.
Your brother Mark tried driving. How long did that last?
Until he got on his head at Slinger.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that happens. Yeah. What projects are you working on now? What's in the garage as we speak? You mentioned you had to do redoing some parts on the 58.
Well, the 59 IndyCar,
59,
Roadster, that's been, like I said, it's taken a lot of time. It's going to be absolutely amazing as far as the detail. It's going to be more real than the supposedly original one that's in somebody's collection. So, it's not my goal to sell it as a real one. It's my goal to make it visually correct. So, and it's been very trying because the joy you get out of these projects is when you finish them, and it's been way too long. So, I can see where guys would quit projects rather than finish them. This is one of them. But I think before the end of the year, we've got some of the stuff going to plating now, and pretty soon I'll be going to painting. So.
Are you going to take time out to go to the Indy 500 this Sunday?
I have a ticket to the suite, and I was there last week for some things, and I'm thinking I might stay home.
Okay.
You got to drive through Chicago to get there, So.
I do. I'm looking forward to it, actually. I'll be in Indiana already calling the Little 500 the night before, and tracks like that, and tracks like Salem Speedway, they made the proving ground to give guys a shot, and you were part of that history as well. We're talking about the 70s, the 80s, where, goodness, Rich Vogler got a chance to run the Indy 500, but probably 15 years beyond what he could have probably done as a young driver to prove himself. How do you see talent? How do you rate talent? And how do you, in this world that's totally different now, checkbook first, but in the reality of judging that talent, how quick were you to read, like, that guy's got something? Hey, that Stewart kid's okay. I want to put him in my car, and he wants to go under the name Smoke Johnson. The first car Smoke ever drove with that name on it was your midget, right, at an indoor race?
Well, yeah.
One of the first couple.
He did, but I don't know that was the first time he used that name. I remember
I'll say it was.
When Jeff Gordon came around, he was a real, he was 17, which, at that time was extremely young. He first time he drove my car, he cleaned house in Eagle, Nebraska. And the next day was his 18th birthday. So, and only reason he drove my car is Vogler was killed like a week before that. And I was amazed how mature and experienced Gordon was at 17 years old. But he was a very rare individual. And then Tony Stewart followed, and he was one of the ones that actually pretty lived up to the Gordon hype. There weren't many of them, but today they start at so many different, whether it's go-karts or quarter midgets or, there's so many young. This young kid here I talked to earlier,
hanging out with Clayton.
He's faster than crap, and he's 17. And it's so. How do you pick talent now? I have no idea,
But you've seen a lot of great ones, and they've come across and said, I want to run your stuff, Greg. It's got to be fun knowing you're still part of that. The Wilkie lineage continues. You guys have seats at the 500. Anytime you're around racing, people want to talk to you. It's got to be kind of neat knowing you can probably get where you want to get. And
it is.
A lot of people.
When I was a participant, I never worried about the history or what we did. It was always about making new history, And now that I haven't done it in 8 years, I've become a little bit more attached to the history and a little bit more proud of it. Maybe getting to be one of them old guys that talks about history more than he does anything else. So,
let me remind you, Greg and Mark Wilkie have 8 National Midget Championship owners titles in USAC, 176 feature wins. They won the 2005 Chili Bowl, Hut 100 4 times, Turkey Night with Kevin Olson in 1983, the Fireman's Pepsi Nationals 10 times, 3 times the Copper World Classic, and the Belleville Midget Nationals in 2007. I didn't say that stuff till the end because it gives you an idea of how privileged we are to have this guy in Milwaukee and doing all those great things for all those years to help us watch and admire you from a distance. And it's great to sit next to you for a little while longer, my friend. How about I say for Greg Olson Greg Wilkie, for joining us here on the show.
Thank you.
The Wilkie Racer tradition continues. This trophy is going to go back to his rec room. I've been in the shop. There have been a lot of trophies on the shelf, but I'm glad you got this one out of your personal collection to bring to us. So thanks, Greg.
Well, thanks for giving me the time. I enjoyed my visit.
Well, thanks for the ticket. Greg Wilkie, one of a kind, one of the smartest guys in racing I know, and really a pleasure to be around. And if you got a chance to ask him anything about racing, he'll probably give you a better way to get to where you need to get, whether it be the handling or what you need to do with the Heim joints or anything else, because he's been there, done that. Greg, thanks for all the success you've had to share with us here on the show. I'm babbling because I'm pretty excited to sit next to Greg Wilkie for a few minutes. We'll be right back. We got a lot of great show guests coming up on the program. Dalton Zier is here. John Beal is here. Clayton Rossman is here, the kid we just talked about. We also are going to talk to Paul Pekorski's son, Alex. Paul's here, but it's Alex's time to shine as he's racing his MSA 360 car and doing pretty well at it. We got a lot to cover on this year's program, including results from the world of motorsports. Stick around. This is the Racing Roundup Show.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help you with your spring cleaning. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Dallas, Waukesha, and Milwaukee, right next to Miller Park. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club points racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison.
For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
427-1000 American Foundation. Cracks and leaks in your basement, have no fears. We've been fixing those things for over 60 years. Trust and dedication, that's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When we decided to get our crack leaky basement done, I am so glad we called American Foundation. It gave us a sense of confidence, and it gave us our basement back.
And it was the right choice.
Thank you very much. American Foundation Specialist has been fixing basements since 1947. Satisfied customers are the future at American. Call American for huge savings at
427-1000 American Foundation.
The Racing Roundup Show is America's longest-running weekly motorsports show held in front of a live audience. Once again, here is the trackside voice of the Daytona 500. You see him on MAV TV's coverage of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl, the ASA Stars National Tour, and the 500 Sprint Car Tour. The host of our show, Jim Trado.
Hey gang, welcome again back to Polly's Pub and Eatery on this Tuesday evening, May 23rd. A great night to hang out and celebrate with race fans and a bunch of racers here. Andy Welter's sitting in with us here. In a few minutes, we'll talk to him about that beautiful modified sitting right out front. Right now, I'd like to remind you, if you want to buy or sell a commercial or home property, one guy to talk to is Matt Rapina, Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. He's got it right. You want to list and buy with confidence, he can do it right. He'll hire a realtor that has the knowledge and expertise to get your deal done. Not all realtors are the same. You want to hire knowledge. Knowledge is power. Choose Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty and list it with Matt Rapina. His website, mattrapina.com, mattrapina.com. Also, make plans now. Wisconsin's fastest sprint car weekend of the year goes trackside June 2nd and 3rd. Check this out. Tony Stewart's All-Stars team up with the bumper-to-bumper IR Outlaw Sprints on Friday night, June 2nd at the Dodge County Fairgrounds. It's the biggest race ever at the Big Half Mile, the inaugural Gibb Weiser Classic. Also, the next night, Saturday night at Plymouth Dirt Track, is the Race Redeem Foundation $26,000 to win spectacular. The highest payday in Wisconsin sprint car racing on Saturday, June 3rd, happens at the Plymouth Dirt Track. Those dates again, next Friday, June 2nd at Dodge County. Saturday, June 3rd at Plymouth. Come feel the thunder. Dean Strom sitting with us. Dean, thanks again for filling in as I was playing race car announcer. I'll be doing that again this week, Thursday at Hickory Motor Speedway for the ASA Stars National Tour.
It was my pleasure.
And you got a chance to talk to Kenny Wallace last week. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Got to talk to a bunch of different racers. Quinn McCabe was on, talking racing.
Yeah. Did you watch the show?
I did. Nice job.
Oh.
Good job by our entire staff.
Well, Quinn is a lot of talk, but not he's been saying for years, Dean, we need me and you on the show. We're going to get done.
He sent me a text saying.
I gave him the chance.
Yep.
I gave him the chance.
He warned me. He said, if you're not here, I'm not going to be on. And then, wouldn't you know, 20 minutes later, Quinn's done answering question one.
Are you available June 3rd?
June 3rd. That's a Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
I'm getting the band together.
Really? For what?
Going to Plymouth.
For the 26,000 win race redeem? All right.
Yes.
Good to know. Before then, we got things to talk about. Last week and this week, what happened in the world of short track racing, Dean?
Bonafide Security Solutions brings you the Short Track Report. For camera and alarm systems for your home or business, program card access, gun safes, it's a lock. Support the racers at Team Bonafide by calling 262-790-9400 or go online, bonafidesafe.com. Bonafide protects what you value. Congratulations go to Badger Midget Series winner Brandon Welty, who won the B main, scored the come-from-the-back victory Sunday night at Angel Park. It was a satisfying and emotional win for the Sun Prairie driver, as the race was named in honor of Brandon's close friends who had passed away, BJ and Addison Dalkey. The Beard, Brady Bill, won his first ever Super Late Model feature Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. Braden Berge was right on his tail. Tonight's guest, we're going to hear from him in a little bit. Fast qualifier at DRP, John Beal, raced to 6th. With the win, Brady Bill moves to within 3 points of leader Max Kaler. Dave Trout jumped in a borrowed car, raced from 8th on the grid to victory in the 25-lap Sportsman main event. In the Flying 5, Johnny's son, Penn Sauter, claimed a clean sweep in the Bandoleros. And on his 13th birthday, Legends driver Ayrton Brockhouse drove to victory in the R&R Doors Night.
This Saturday, it's the big Lyle Nabelfelt Memorial Tribute 55 for the CWRA Super Late Models, plus UMA Pro Late Models, Modifieds, Bandits, and Vintage Cars. Buy your tickets online now and save money. DellsRacewayPark.com. Ryan Zilski, grab the headline Saturday night at Wilmot Raceway. CKContractorsLLC.com. Brings us to Wilmot Raceway happenings. Hire the pros at CK Contractors for Lake Michigan shore restoration, lot grading, excavation, and grading, retention pond building, and more. Zilski took the lead with 3 laps remaining in the 20-lap CK Contractors Autometer Wisconsin Wingless feature. Chris Dodd settled for second. Past show guest Steve Miller conquered the 20-lap modified A main over Nick Simons. Mark Heinert put one on him in the IRA Lightning Sprints feature. Defending track champion Rob Mall won the Street Stocks main event. It's an open wheel spectacular this Saturday at Wilmot. IRA Outlaw Sprints, Badger Midgets, and MSA 360s. Driver X, John Morales Jr., won the 48-lap Big 8 Late Model Series main event Friday night in the opener at Madison International Speedway. The Friday night opener at Madison International Speedway. Wisconsin's fastest half mile. Josh Nelms took the checkers. Mid-American Stock Car Series. Carter Stark captured Midwest Dash Series laurels. $2 Busch Light Night and double features this Friday night at
all 5 divisions.
NASCAR Weekly
double
Racers.
features. $2 Busch Lights. 2 of everything.
Madison International Speedway. MISRacing.com.
There you go.
Congrats to Lance Fosbender for driving the purple number 7 sprint car to victory Saturday night at the Plymouth Dirt Track. IRA Outlaw Sprints Frank Filsco Memorial. Checkered flag, that checkered flag for the IRA guys was captured by Jordan Goldsberry. Quick qualifier Anderson's Maple Syrup sponsored Bill Baylog. Battled hard for the win. Threw one more move at Goldsberry coming to the checkers. But instead of the checkers, he got a piece of the wall. Baylog drove his sweet 17B to victory Sunday night at Angel Park Speedway. Zach Hampton and Goldsberry joined Bill on the podium. Bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprints will be racing 4 straight doubleheader weekends. Starting this weekend, check them out at a track near you. Learn more at IRAsprints.com. Steve Apel edged Jacob Nottestead in a photo finish to win the 75-lap Elite 8 Super Late Model Series Keith's Marina race against cancer Sunday afternoon at the Slinger Speedway. The pair traded the lead several times in an intense battle over the final 15 laps, crossed under the checkered flag side by side, 0.063 seconds, the margin between Apel and Nottestead. USAC Silver Crown Series returned to the big half-mile Belleville Raceway in Kansas for the first time in 8 years. Brady Bacon won, overcame a tangle that sent his race car airborne back on all fours. At the same time, Justin Grant's car went flipping down the front straightaway. Bacon's 3 Silver Crown victories have come at some pretty famous half miles: Belleville, Eldora, and Williams Grove.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
I heard Greg Wilkie talking to Clayton Ross with his dad about watching that Silver Crown race at the big half at Belleville, the big high banks. Man, it was something to see. I'm sorry I didn't catch it, but I'm glad we got the chance to say congrats to Macho Man Brady Bacon for the win.
Last week, Castro Flow Racing Night in America. They had a doubleheader in Iowa. Hudson O'Neill, Dennis Erb Jr., the big winners. Ricky Thornton Jr. went back-to-back in Lucas Oil late model competition, also in Iowa. And Kyle Larson picked up the big check in the High Limits Sprint Car Series. ASA 150 lapper at North Wilkesboro, the ASA Stars National Tour, I should say, at North Wilkesboro. Cool scene.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm kind of glad it rained out Tuesday to Wednesday because I got to be there on Dale Jr. Day.
Oh, nice.
The crowd had a lot of retro shirts, but a lot of green Sundrop number 3 shirts sprinkled in, and just to see the passion they had for what Junior did to help weed whack that track to get the iRacing scan on, in 2019, to what it built into.
Which led to.
And, they had a racetrack revival last fall in August. They had a couple of late model divisions. But to see the super lates mixed with the Cars Pro late models and the late model stocks, the Cars Tour, they have the grip on Virginia, Carolinas, when it comes to that style of late model stock racing. A lot more stock components than a super late. When you put a super late out there and you got 52 cars to roll in for a 32 car field, it was pretty intense. Weather rolled in and knocked out qualifying after 19 cars, as you mentioned on the show last week, Dean. The series official said, plain as day, in the drivers' meeting at 10 o'clock on that morning, Tuesday, said, if we don't get all qualifying in, we're taking combined practice speeds. And that's how we're going to set the top 22 to lock in, which they did. The 22 cars that locked in were good. The 4 cars that locked in on points did not have to race the last chance qualifier. The rains came, and it all went to Wednesday. They ran the LCQ in the afternoon. They ran the feature, the last of the 3. features. Congrats to Butterbean Queen and to Augie Grill for winning the Cars Tour races. And when it came down to it, the NASCAR guys performed as well. Chase Elliott and William Byron raced for the lead at points. Of the 32 cars that made the show, man, nobody was slouching. That was a fast race.
Ty Majeski had to take a provisional to get in to the feature event.
He got a points provisional on Stars National points because his car just wasn't in the top 22 in speeds. But he came up to 10th by the lap 50 mark from 29th. Got up to 4th or 5th. And there's something I'll see on Thursday night. I saw Ty's comments after the race. He said, I got pushed out of the way on the last lap by Casey Roderick. Roderick finishes 7th. Ty finishes 10th. But Ty had a spot on him, and he was running behind Casey Roderick. He only trailed him by 10 points in the point standings heading to this one. So I think there might be something brewing there. But regardless, there's only a 10-race schedule. Every point matters, and this Thursday is another race to play it out. So congrats to Bubba Pollard for winning the race. He led the lead 2 occasions in the cycle of things. The last pit stop came through. They all put 4 tires on, and Bubba's car performed. Chase Elliott and William Byron finished in the top 5, as did Daniel Suarez. A nice job by him. First time ever on a super late. I'm not just name dropping here, but Cole Butcher, Derek Thorne, Majeski, they all finished behind him. And a tip of the cap to Caden Quapple. That's the 16-year-old of Travis's 2 boys. First ever time in a super, 20 laps, 30 laps of Caraway on the way down to the track. Qualifies in the show, finishes 6th. So good to see Caden Quapple getting another shot this coming Thursday in Archie St. Hilaire's car. So that's all coming this Thursday. You can watch the North Wilkesboro Super Late Model Race Cars on MAV TV on an upcoming Monday night MAV TV All-American Racing block. I don't think it's this Monday. It might be next Monday. So you can kind of see what's going on there. And the Hickory, the Tar Heel 250, that's this coming Thursday. I'll be part of that as well. We just had a chat about that on the way here. Lots in store for returning to that famous racetrack. ASA race that I think there once before. Scott Wimmer out of Wausau was the winner back in 2001 or something like that.
Have you ever been there?
No, not yet.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty historic.
Cool. Walk into the place like you're walking in as a fan, and you see all the names around the ticket booth and around the entryway going in. It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna go right to the track tomorrow when I get there. Hey, a driver that likes going to the track and winning things like a championship at the Plymouth Dirt Track, racing at Beaver Dam for a season, now racing wherever he feels like it. Let's welcome in the driver, that beautiful number 32 Dirt Modified out there, Andy Welter. Andy, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. Glad to be back.
We've had you on a few times, but I can't remember how many years you've been racing on dirt already. You made the transition from pavement, working with Danny and Sonia and Del Camps, and then just kind of working your way through and pavement stuff, and then sudden, hey, you're a dirt racer. How long has it been on the dirt?
This is our 5th season on dirt.
Wow. Jeez. And you got a championship already? It's like what you should have been doing, maybe? Is this your calling?
There's times when I wish that I started on dirt racing beforehand. But, no, I'm thankful for everything I did on asphalt and the people I met, and now I'm on to other things, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
So when it comes to modified racing, there's a lot of cars that are modified classifications around the state, around the Midwest. You could probably get your car tuned up to just about any rule book given the chance to get things aligned.
Yeah,
I mean it's got to be a lot of work to get it right with a bunch of competition.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. I mean, on dirt, I'm racing against 30, 40 cars a night compared to on asphalt when we were lucky to have 20 a night. I can run this car anywhere from Kansas all the way up to the UP if I wanted to, and anywhere in between. I mean, we went down to Bristol last year and raced on the dirt out there. And they mixed us in with some Whiz Soda cars and some UMPB mods and stuff. And it was me running an IMCA Sport mod. It was like bringing a knife to a gunfight. But we gave it our all and had a blast.
And you mentioned earlier, and that kind of dovetails into Jim's question, is you've already got 7 nights racing under your belt. If you were racing on the pavement, just the way the calendar is and the way the weather has been so far this spring, you'd probably have 1.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I'm having a blast. We started our season out in Iowa, down at Boone and Marshalltown. We had a blast down there. The results didn't show it, but it was kind of our first time running IMCA rules strictly.
Okay.
And I can tell you, they are sticklers on everything. I mean, they will take you out for a wheel cover. Ask me how I know.
So how difficult was that to adapt? Because you're trying to push every limit. But now you see this book, it is black and it's white and there's nothing outside that black edge.
Well, Scout's honored. I always followed the rule book, so it's not that bad.
Okay.
But, no, it's just something to get used to. It's just dirt is so different from the asphalt. I mean, asphalt I was always taught from Danny Delcamp and all those guys working with Steve Apel and stuff. It was always, easy on the brake, easy on the gas, hit your marks every lap. Now you're doing the same thing on dirt, but on dirt, that rhythm's going to change, and where you have to hit them is going to change from
that,
lap to lap.
That mark changes from lap to
Correct.
lap, too, doesn't it? Yeah.
One time you're running low, the next you're running high to get around someone, or you're running where the grip is. And it changes drastically, and that's what you have to be prepared for.
Hang with Andy Walters, raced at Beaver Dam, raced for a championship. You won the championship last year at Plymouth. Was that your first year racing for points at Plymouth?
Yeah, that was my first year racing for points at Plymouth.
Nice
Beforehand,
job.
we the year before we came up a little short at Beaver Dam, ran second. I think we lost by 10 points or something for second place the year before. But we're having a blast.
And now you're taking the show on the road. Where are you guys planning on racing this year?
Anywhere we can find. We are looking. We want to get down to Iowa a couple more times this year. We love running with those guys. That's where you find out if what you're really made of is running down there, and if you're have the car to beat up here. We're trying to run the Clash at the Creek, the Captain of the Creek as well. We want to run.
We're about a month out from that? Less than a month now?
About a month out from that now. We also want to get up to one of my favorite places. I call it Diamond and Rough, Eagle River Speedway in northern Wisconsin. It's one of the coolest tracks I've ever been to.
Okay.
And then we also want to get to there's a topless race down in Iowa that we also want to race at. And we'll see if we get there.
That's a lot on the schedule. When you say we, who's the we?
The we is everyone I got sitting here. I got my crew chief, Tom, and then I got my tire guy, Zach.
They're all waving their hand. Very cordial. Thank you, guys. And we now know who you are.
And I got my crew member, Adley, out there, and my mom and dad. And then
Dad didn't wave.
No, Dad.
Taking notes, though.
Mr. Personable over there is
now.
what we call him. And then I got my girlfriend, Kelly, who couldn't make it tonight. She had some prior engagements, but...
That's cool. You guys are all here hanging out. Is this shop night, or is this one of the shop nights?
No, unfortunately, the shop night is whenever we can get there. Everyone's got busy schedules, so some nights I'll be out there working by myself. I got a couple crew guys who work night shifts, so they'll come during the day whenever they can. It's whenever we can work on it is when we're going to work on it.
Did you guys bank all your vacation days for those multi-day shows or chasing out to Iowa?
We do.
Yep.
We actually do. Everyone goes on vacation. We go on racecation.
It's cool that you have that many dedicated people with you. How long have they been kind of your guys or helping you and with their experience?
This crew I got now is basically the crew I've had since I started racing 17 years ago.
Wow.
I've been very fortunate enough that they are invested and love it as much as I do. They not only spend their time there, but they also invest money into what we got going on here, and they love every second of it. And they get just as upset and mad when I screw up. When they screw up, if they ever screw up, they won't say it, but they tell me when I screw up all the time.
Well, I know your mom and dad are extremely proud of what you do and what you get to do and do it together. Matter of fact, I talked mom into asking you to bring your helmet out. This is the helmet we put on the J2 woodworking stand here tonight. I just want to give people the idea that a lot goes into this, and it's a cool number 32 helmet. And you just have the sign painter guy to get it done. I mean, all those little things, you got to keep on top of all of that, especially when you're not racing just one track once a week.
Yeah, a lot of people say it's like having a second job. It's not like having a second job. It's like having 3 jobs all at once on top of your original job, you know?
And when you go racing, you got people that are supporting you.
I do.
The sponsorship, now that you're doing this traveling schedule, I'm guessing some people along the way might say, hey, I saw you race at Iowa. Hey, I saw you run at Marshalltown. I want to help you out. I mean, are these folks that are coming to you from around the area, or are they coming from different places now that you're traveling more?
No, a lot of it is around the area. I've
Okay.
been very fortunate in the sponsorship realm more than other people. I've been very fortunate. I've got the Kierkein Country Club. They've been one of my biggest supporters since I started racing. Mr. Holland's Home Services out of Jackson. They've been along with us for a couple of years now. We got Chillin' the Most Charters, who are new this year out of Port Washington.
What do they do?
They are a fishing charter. So if you ever want to go fishing this summer out on the big pond, I can hook you up.
All right.
And then we got Circle B Recreation out of Cedarburg, a bowling alley. They've been with us the past couple of years. They are awesome out there. They can get you everything from a wedding to a bowling party for your 9-year-old. And then we got Wagner Automotive. They build some amazing horsepower, and I cannot give those guys enough credit out there. We got Jake's Custom Sawing out of Cedarburg. Jeff Berlbin Music, who jumped on this year. He's new. He just had an album release party last year, so if you want to check that out, look him up. And then Ultimate Race Cars, Jeff Steenberg out of Johnson Creek. He can make a shopping cart fast, and I am a product of that.
Jeff's done a lot on pavement. He's really good at dirt. You talk about Legends cars on through to dirt late models. I mean, he's got something that you want to try that usually works, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is a very smart guy. Him and Tim Warmer have that. They got that program rolling, and they got me going in the right direction. And I couldn't be more thankful for those guys.
Are you guys working with one car? Do you have a spare? Do you take a bunch of parts with you? I mean, you guys are kind of like on your own. When you're out, right?
Yeah, when we're out on the road, we literally pack the whole shop into our truck and trailer. And it's tight, but we make it work because we don't want to run home for nothing. Because when you're 6-7 hours away from home, you want to keep racing for the weekend, not head home because you got a wheel bearing go out or something stupid like that.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of work, a lot of preparation, even what to put where. Because if you're in a thrash and you come in with a flat left front, you got to know exactly what tools you need, when you need them, who does what. I mean, that's all part of the plan, man.
Yeah, my guys are actually really good at that. They all take their jobs very, very seriously. So they know what to do, when to do it before I don't even have to say anything. They're already doing it, and they're yelling at me to get in the car before I even know it.
So when you get a chance to race against as many different drivers and as many different tracks that you've been to, what kind of notebook do you store? Are you more the shock guy? Are you more of the I want this tire pressure? I want to change the feel in the right rear of the car. How do you engage with them so they can read off of you and win these races?
We all kind of talk together. My brother is actually the one who reads the track and then kind of relays us what he thinks is going to happen to it, and we kind of go off of that, and then what I feel in the heat race and whatnot. We all just kind of come together and talk about it, what we think the car needs and what it looks like and what I feel. We all just kind of work together to come up with something. And then as far as notes, I take notes on everything from track condition to temperature to tire stagger to pretty much everything I can take notes on. And that's one thing that's helped me since I started on dirt.
And I see a friend of yours with the hat, the number 51 is the Apel Racing hat. Steve Apel's the driver's won 5 Slinger championships. His brother Jared has raced in a Legends car. Now he's jumping in the world of dirt modified racing. Has he been bugging you at all?
Yeah, he's been in my pocket a lot. He's been trying to figure it out. I've been trying to work with him as much as I can. So I tried to get out there. He's been racing Beaver Dam weekly. So I'm trying to get out there, but with my work schedule, it's pretty hard. But I'm hoping to get out there. He's doing pretty good, and hopefully we can get him steered in the right direction.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thanks for acknowledging the folks helping you. Anybody where you still need to catch up on?
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to the Texas Toad Racing Team out of San Antonio, Texas. My Aunt Cindy and Uncle Town. Thanks for viewing, guys.
Oh, that's cool. Anybody else watching tonight?
No, unfortunately, on my side, that's probably it.
Well, they can watch it anytime they want on our website, racingroundupshow.com. How about I stand for Andy Welter for joining us tonight? Andy, thanks for spending some time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Bringing the crew, bringing mom and dad in the car and the helmet. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, guys.
It's been a pleasure having you on the program. Dean Stroud, thank you again for your involvement. Are you next Tuesday back in case they rain out this Hickory thing for like 5 days? Can I
Sure.
say, hey, can
sure,
you come
we're going
back
to be down at the cellar. I will be down at the cellar.
That is our next show. Next Tuesday, May 30th, we're at the Cellar in Oak Creek, 812 West Oakwood Road. The information's on our website, racingroundupshow.com. It's our first DeAngelis Construction Road show.
If you're coming in person, bring a coat. It's
Think
cooler.
so?
It's cooler near the lake.
Well, we also
I learned that out the hard way.
We're going to be outside. That's where I first saw one of Greg Wilkie's restored midgets. I went, wait a minute. That's where I saw our friend Dave Ulrich bring out his 63 Corvette split window. We talked him into that at the gas station stop, too. We got a lot more to cover. We're going to have a great car show next week. More to talk about on this program. We've got Gildan Racing with John Beal, and we've got that other guy named Dalton Zier back there somewhere. Clayton Rossman's been in the front row. Are you done eating yet? I wanted to make sure we talked long enough. It looked like I had mac and cheese and something. Good. We're going to talk to these guys next. We got a lot to cover here yet on the Racing Roundup Show. Stick around.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Contact us on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be right back with more of the Upper Midwest and Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club points racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the #1 replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
At Automatic Transmission Design, we know your vehicle is important to you. When your transmission needs servicing, take it to the best. ATD in Germantown, Wisconsin. ATD understands how important it is to get your vehicle fixed right the first time. When you take your vehicle to ATD, our ASE trained technicians will run diagnostic tests to pinpoint the exact problem and answer any questions you may have before repairs begin. ATD has been providing high-quality, honest repairs to customers for over 15 years. We service all makes and models using the best parts and equipment available. When you come to ATD, you will get an honest assessment of the problem, simple explanations, experienced technicians, competitive pricing, high-quality parts, and their 100% guarantee. Money is not the goal at ATD. It is the result of fixing the problem and returning the vehicle to you. That is their goal. The next time your vehicle needs quality transmission service, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Buckle up, get ready, get set, and get your tickets now as the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns to Wisconsin's Road America in Elkhart Lake, July 27th through the 29th. The smell of fresh rubber and food will fill the air for this weekend, along with the Porsche Carrera Cup for even more racing fun. An amazing, affordable weekend of family fun with camping, food, and more. Kids 16 and under get in free with paid adult. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Your national park of speed.
The Gravely Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
The Racing Roundup Show is dedicated to showcasing grassroots racers and national stars of our sport. If you're a fan of NASCAR, four-wheel, two-wheel, road racing, drag racing, or the short track scene, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back on a beautiful night to talk racing. A special hello and shout out to Ken Krieger, who's got some sheet time he's almost through with. So Ken, get back, get healthy. We'll see you at the racetrack soon. Our thoughts are with you and your family, Ken Krieger. Again, hang in there, buddy. Get ready to go racing here soon after what you're going through right now. Looking forward to seeing you soon. We also want to congratulate TJ Zizzo. He was a guest 2 weeks on the show. The NHRA were at Route 66 Raceway this past weekend. I was watching the coverage on Sunday night on Fox Sports 1, and wouldn't you know, TJ qualifies 16th. He goes against number 1. Boom! TJ wins. Second round, TJ gets out to the line. They talk about how great his car is, how he and Don Schumacher got together and built him a car in 2 years. Boom, TJ wins again. Now he's in the quarterfinals. Now he's ready to get in this. He's in the semis. He's one of the fastest 4 top fuel cars after 2 years out of the racing circuit. Smokes the tires on the line. Unfortunately, TJ is not going to be able to take another Wally home. But indeed, he got a chance to be one of the fast 4 that get to race for money in Edinburgh. I think it's Edinburgh, New Hampshire, or something like that, coming up this week. So if he has a chance to run out that way, he's got a chance to make some cash runs on Saturday. So TJ Zizzo in the Rust-Oleum Rocket. Nice job, TJ, qualifying in, going into the third round of 4 to race his way in top fuel for the first time. So good to see he was on the show and had some great success. This portion of the show is brought to you by BMRE Electric Carts at E-Brakes in Random Lake. Brad Miller is Wisconsin's only Icon dealer and has in-stock inventory and customizing options for both the bikes, and there's a lot of different styles of those electric-powered Icon golf carts, battery-powered, 25 miles an hour on the bikes alone. Find your favorite color and style at BMRE Electric Carts Company on their Facebook page. Again, reminder, next week, Tuesday, we're going to be live May 30th at the Cellar in Oak Creek, 812 West Oakwood Road in Oak Creek for Oak Creek Automotive Night. And now we welcome in our Anderson's Maple Syrup Racing Short Track Spotlight driver. He's racing for another championship this year. We'd like to remind you to try Anderson's Maple Syrup in your coffee or tea or on ice cream. Take it with you with pure fuel, maple energy on the go. You can find Anderson's in your favorite grocer or andersonsmaplesyrup.com. This week's Anderson's Maple Syrup Racing Spotlight belongs to defending CK Contractors Autometer Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series driver Clayton Rossman. Clayton, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks for having me. I
did a lot of talking just now, but you did a lot of talking already this season. You did it with your right foot in an exciting win already at Wilmot. Tell us about how the season's gone so far for you.
It's gone pretty good up here in Wisconsin. We we've come back. Car's been good. I've been able to drive it good, I guess.
So the win you got the other night, we had Jimmy Sivy on the show, I think, last week, and he was the guy you're trying to beat. And wouldn't you know it, Dean Strom and I got a chance to see you when the All-Stars raced at Wilmot, and you guys raced with them. And I saw that pure speed. You got some corner rolling speed now. That's got to feel good knowing you've got a good piece again to go after another championship.
Yeah, we weren't planning on running all the shows this year.
Okay.
We're running Indiana a lot with the 410. So that, I think, has helped me a lot, and it's helped me with sort of reading the track and everything.
Is that a big, huge step for you? You're young. You may not know any better, but fighting off the 80-year tradition of Indiana nine-wing sprint cars, saying, I'll run my 410 against these guys. How's that going?
It's definitely been different. They race a lot harder down there, and you have to step it up on every lap. You have to be there, and it's been teaching me a lot. I've learned a lot.
How about the difference in just flat out when you put the pedal down? I know I talked about corner speed, but you need to be handling down those straightaways too. How much does that change your driving style or the feel of the race car for you?
Big time. You have a lot of power to get yourself into trouble, and a lot more power you're able to get yourself out of trouble. It's been different. Big thing is when you run the cushion, you can bury it in a little harder because you can sort of have the power to pull yourself out of it, and it's definitely taught me a lot.
What was it like heading back to Wisconsin in the Wisconsin wingless car when you get the chance after doing the 410 runs?
It's definitely helped me. It's not easier to drive them, but a little bit slows everything down. I'm able to think more behind the wheel.
Less horsepower, less momentum in the car. I mean, you've got to carry all the momentum in this car. You don't have the throttle that can really get you out of or into trouble, as you said. How different is that? How mindset-wise do you have to be? Not only the competition in Indiana, but just the sheer idea of, okay, I can back this thing in and gas it, whereas maybe the wingless Wisconsin wingless, less horsepower, you got to do more of a different line altogether, don't you?
They're not too much different. This one, like you said, you can't back it in as hard because you need to keep that momentum going. But it's really not that much different, especially when it slicks off. You're still just rolling around the bottom, and
so maybe that helps you. You're not saying I don't have all the power. I'm only half throttle, and I'm lighting these things up because you got that ability to adapt, maybe more so than others that are just 410 guys.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's seemed to have been helping.
What's your schedule been like already this spring?
So we've ran at Lincoln Park a couple times. Went to No Way Out 40 at Paragon. Ran 3 nights up here with the crate. This weekend we'll go to Gas City, Putnamville, and Kokomo on Sunday. And then I think we'll be at Sun Prairie the following weekend.
Wow, That's a busy schedule.
Yeah, the goal is to race as much as I can.
Is school out already? Are you blowing off some classes? What's going on here?
Today was my last day of school.
Hey, all right.
So summer started, and that helps a lot. Being able to switch our motors back and forth and everything between the 410 and running for the Wisconsin wingless.
I know that you had the shop you shared last year with Tim Cox and the knowledge he had in preparing a Wisconsin wingless car to race against you and literally tie you for the championship last year. What's the dichotomy in the shop now with all the different cars and components you're putting together to run as many times as you can in the given week?
Oh, it helps a lot, especially with the 410 setup-wise, since he's already been through all this with the fueling and everything. He's helps a lot. And especially sometimes I'll do something, he'll look over and be like, I wouldn't do it like that.
Okay.
So that helps.
I'm sure it does. So he's still in the shop working on his wingless car and your car?
Yeah.
All right. Does he give you more insights now that you're not competing against him directly in the same class?
No, he's always gives me everything that I need to know.
Sometimes those guys want to keep one thing they don't want to tell you. They'll tell you everything you know, but not everything they know. I'm guessing Tim's not that way, is he?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. I guess you wouldn't know. Yeah. When it comes to this kind of racing, Clayton, what did you guys have to do to bolster the equipment or buy more equipment, or did you buy a roller? What'd you do to make this next step in racing both Wisconsin wingless and a 410?
All I bought was we bought the 410 to be able to go down there. We actually had to sell a race car to be able to buy it. So now I only have one car, one everything.
So you have one chassis, swapping motors?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of different.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys going, you're kind of crazy because that's a lot of work in a given week if you're running both.
Some people have said that.
But now you got all the time to work on this. You don't have a summer job, do you? Is this the summer job because it's paying to win?
No, I have to get a real summer job.
All right, okay. All right. The schedule, though, you mentioned how busy it is. Can we find somewhere where you're going to be racing, or you go week to week? How do you plan that out with 09 Racing, right? 09
Rossman Racing.
Rossman Racing. That's right. 2 N's, 2 S's.
Yes, sir.
09 Rossman Racing. That's where I found you, the Facebook page. Is that where we can find most often where you're going to be running?
Yeah, we usually try to keep it out in one. We go week to week.
Okay.
So we look at the weather, see how it's going to be. Like I said, we weren't planning on running all the races up here, but we're doing a little better up here than we expected this season.
Okay.
So we might run up here more than we were initially thinking.
All right. Now, there's a lot of discussion on tires, rear tires. In wing sprint car racing has changed from Hoosier's perspective. How has it been for you racing in Indiana? Availability, tire compounds, and running the wingless car at all over the state of Wisconsin?
I'm still on last year's tires.
Okay.
So we haven't noticed a difference there. There seems to be you can get all of the tires you need. They're a little pricey, but we're still on last year's stuff.
Okay.
So I run the same ones up here as I do down there, most part.
All right. And when you mention the competition, you're racing against the full-time USAC teams. You're racing against the guys that have been racing at Kokomo for 30 years. They got a lot of experience. How do you find your best way to adapt? Do you go to the 3 or 4 guys? Do you bring your own setup? Is it you and your dad and saying, okay, how am I looking? How do you approach that? It's for me, it'd be a huge difference, a huge change.
It's definitely daunting when you're sitting there looking at when you look up for your qualifying set and you see Brady Bacon, Emerson Axum. It's definitely a little nervous, but we sort of we went just how we ran our crate car. We've made a couple changes along the way, and we really just try to do it, ask Tim Cox for help, then we do it our way, and it seems to be working okay.
Do you have more than a couple of crew guys that go with you? Do you do a lot of your own work? How does this play out to this point for you, Clayton?
It's just me, my dad, and my mom that go down. Civias go down sometimes with us and help when they're not racing, but it really just stays between me and my dad.
That's a lot of work. How much does he make you do, and how much is he doing? Because I imagine he wants you to do a lot of it, because then you can understand the car and what changes over the course of a 30-lap feature.
I'd like to do all if I could,
okay.
But his input definitely helps a lot, and he leaves a lot of the setup to me and reading the track.
All right. And how far do you think you're getting? Are you getting it? Are you struggling? Or on a given night, you're like, man, that's exactly what I thought would happen, and it happened. Are those moments coming to you?
They are. Some nights I will roll out before the feature, and I look at it, and I'm like, ooh, we set up a little snug here.
Okay.
And then it ends up working or it doesn't work. But I think it's been working pretty decent.
I'd say you won your fair share when it comes to the CK Contractors Autometer Wisconsin Wingless Sprints. Are you going to look at the points at any point in Indiana, or is this a learning year with the 410 and maybe playing things out, as you mentioned, week to week? How do you look at it now this early in the season?
Right now I'm not racing for points anywhere.
Okay.
And I'm not in any points in Indiana really because we jump around when we do go. We're just going to go week to week, I think, like we have been. My mom doesn't always love it because she likes to make plans.
Sure. Sorry, Mom. That's not going to happen. Just how we got to do things.
Exactly.
At what point do you make up your mind on a Thursday? Is it all about the weather? Is it all about, okay, does it make sense to drive 5 hours and give a call or look on the phone and hopefully get a message that we're running or not?
That, and then we always try to look how many nights I can get in while we're down there. We don't like to drive down, race once, and come back. Like I said, now up here we're running pretty good, so I'm gonna try to hit all of the races up here now.
Here we go. Warning shot's been fired, defending the championship. I like the competition. I love the ability to see as many different racers perform with the Autometer Wisconsin Wingless, sponsored this year by CK Contractors. And you get a chance to race against some guys, and you can trust them and gals. You get like, okay, I know what you're going to do. I can kind of tell, but I can trust drivers. It's not been that long you've been doing this, but I imagine you've earned their trust as well by racing as fast as you have been since you've been doing this for, 2 years now? 3 years maybe, right?
Yeah. It's a great class up here. It's very, very competitive. There's 10 cars that can win any given night. You can sort of pick up on who does who's going to run the top, like Sivy and Zelski, and who's going to run a little bit of everywhere, like Ryan Marshall and Tim. So it's nice knowing that. When I go to Indiana, it's just everybody's really.
You mentioned they get after it pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Is the structure of the race night different? I know that in Wisconsin Wingless there had been a passing points in heat races determine where you get to start the feature? If you get so many points, how's the structure been working out for you at various Indiana tracks?
All of the ones I've gone to, they line you up straight up. So you qualify with your group, and then if you're quick time in your group, you start on the pole of your heat. And if you win your heat, all the heat winners are first, and then everyone that finished second. So they line them straight up.
Okay.
While here we have that invert. So the top 10 in qualifying, then we draw the pill, and you get lined up various.
Yep. Well, that's kind of different. So you want to do the best you can all the time. Not that you wouldn't, but I'm saying those things are black and white.
Black and white.
You don't have to figure that out.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. The thing that Wisconsin Wingless, that works really well, and some people don't love it, and I don't see a difference, really.
Yeah, it's great to know all this stuff's clicking for you. When it comes to support and sponsorship, you talked about Mom, you talked about Dad, you talk about using the same race car to go racing in Indiana as you do on a given Saturday or Friday night or Sunday night with the CK Contractors Autometer Wisconsin Wingless Sprints. Who's helping you do this, and who's behind you when you go racing in the 09 Rossman on Facebook, number 09?
All my sponsors, McGill Trucking, Johnny Z Poorhouse, who came on this year. Johnny's been helping a lot. Nick Carter Trucking, Master Truck and Trailer, RLB Hydraulics, Bullseye Boring, Lake County Hose, CDA Services, and then both my parents, because they support me 100% in this racing thing.
Yeah, it seems like it's a great family thing to do. How long have they been with you? How long have you been racing total?
I think I started racing go-karts when I was like 7 or 8.
Okay.
And I raced those. And then I think I was 14 when we bought our first sprint car. And I started racing that.
So now we're at, 5 years into this? 4.5 into the sprint cars?
I'm 3 years into the sprint
3 years.
cars.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got you aged by like a year and a half. Sorry, man. Sorry. Just finishing up school today. It's hard to realize that as much as you've accomplished already, that you're sitting here saying, I'm trying the 410 thing. I'm working on this. I've got this. And school just ended today. A lot of things going positively in your direction. I mentioned the Facebook page. Where can people find out what's going on with Clayton Rossman when it comes to social interaction?
We're working on that, definitely.
Okay.
So 09 Rossman Racing, and then my Facebook page, and I have an Instagram at 09 Clayton.
Okay.
And that's.
You interact with fans, send the pictures. Here's my buddy's dog. You're doing that kind of stuff, or is it like, here's my race car. Here's a picture of me with a trophy.
Race cars, definitely.
That's kind of hard. I'd like to see it, too. How about I say for Clayton Rossman joining us here tonight? What a great insight to this young man's driving and what he's doing this year. And thanks for spending some time with us tonight and bringing the shirts down to give away.
Thank you very much for having me.
You bet. Clayton Rossman here with us tonight. He's going to sign the Bob Trado Sign Runner backdrop right back there. All the guests this season are signing it. And we're looking forward to having you join us on a given Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we are at the Cellar in Oak Creek, 812 West Oakwood Road in Oak Creek. The information's on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We're talking about some pavement racing and some ordinate racing with Alex Pokorski. But first, we're going to talk to the Gildan Racing guys and get you up on the world of NASCAR next on the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Belansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Dallas.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair. From oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive, 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Greenfield Gallery wants to buy your racing collection. Do you have die-cast cars from IndyCar, Sprint Car, or short tracks? Greenfield Gallery wants them. If you have old racing programs, racing photos, and negatives, Greenfield Gallery wants those too. Contact Ralph Hibbert Jr. at Greenfield Gallery, who wants to buy your racing collection. Ralph also has an ever-changing eBay store full of racing collectibles. Search Greenfield Gallery. Email Ralph right now to get connected. His email address is ralph@greenfieldgallery.net.
Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, to watch show archives, see photos from decades of our program, and links to support our awesome show advertisers. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back, everybody, to this great program. Next Tuesday, Oak Creek Automotive Night at the Cellar in Oak Creek. This segment of the show is brought to you by Midwest Truck Series, which is supported by Widener Automotive and Pathfinder Chassis. They race on their schedule, MidwestTruckSeries.com. They just raced at Wimmer Family State Park Speedway in Wausau. Congrats to James Lynch for bagging that one. More information on their website, racing with the Midwest Truck Series. You can find them at MidwestTruckSeries.com. They got a lot going on, and these drivers next to us know a lot about what's going on in the Midwest. They both have won championships in the ASA Midwest Tour, as well as repeatedly at Marshfield Motor Speedway. Let's welcome in the drivers of the Gildan Racing Machines, John Beal and Dalton Zier. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
The annual pilgrimage from Verona. Thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah. It's good to be here in Milwaukee, and a beautiful day for a radio show. Could be sitting outside right now.
We could. We got the door cracked. The garage door is up a little bit to give us a sight line at the Milwaukee Mile, which I think is a track that owes you one, Dalton. Are you going to be racing on June 18th in the Father's Day 100?
It was firmly in our schedule until the rule change, and now it's very up in the air. It's not looking great.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because there is an ASA Stars National Tour designation now for the Milwaukee Mile race, which does change the engine rules. It changed a lot of different rules that would affect what you guys are doing with your program.
We were going to do the Joe Shear, and then same deal there. But now this one was a little bit sprung on us, and unfortunately, it doesn't really play into the cars that we have in the shop.
Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, they say they're working on it, but I'm not very optimistic.
Gotcha. The Father's Day 100 is now replacing the Slinger Nationals just because, hey, Todd Thielen and the gang at Slinger wanted to make their rules known, and it didn't fit with the ASA Stars National Tour model. And give credit to Bob Sargent, saying we want to continue to show and highlight Wisconsin racers and bring them to Wisconsin, the nation's best. I consider you guys among them. So I hope to see you soon at racing against those guys. Saying, you know what? We got to know. We got good stuff. We got all the good stuff. Mm-hmm. This past weekend, John, you did okay at the Dells Raceway Park. Fill us in on how your race night went on Saturday.
Yeah, we're running there weekly now for the UMA Super Late Models. Jerry Obby's put a great program together there, and qualified second there the first week, and then qualified first this week and ended up sixth. Team's been working real hard, and we're happy about it. Been fast all year.
I'm really excited to follow along with you guys, because through the work of TJ Heron and others, we get a chance to see what you guys do now inside and outside the car. You got a video diary going, and it's in-car footage and stuff. That's kind of cool for me to see. What do you guys think of that, getting captured and surrounded by all the folks you represent and sharing it with them every time?
Well, I really like it. I mean, this goes to TJ and John here. They work on that a lot, and even me rewatching it, it's a cool third perspective. So, I mean, go check it out on Gildan Racing page on Facebook, and we're on all the social medias. John does a really good job with all that, and I mean, I think it's cool. I hope we we have good enough races, and we continue to show it. You know what I mean? Like, do that. It's a lot of work though. So,
Yeah, I met TJ when he was working at Madison International Speedway, and he ended up joining our team. Completely volunteer. He follows us everywhere we go. He's here tonight and posts everything on social media, and it's great for everyone to see that can't make it to all the races.
We talked about races you may have on your calendar. How do you guys determine your calendar? Dalton, you're a championship driver working full-time in the shop. You're John's crew chief when he's not driving, and he's your crew chief when he's not driving. How do you guys plan out your schedules collectively?
It works pretty smoothly when we take turns driving. It only gets complicated when we're both trying to drive the same day, because then we can't hardly play crew chief very good. But we got a great group of guys. The crew has progressed so much in like the last 3 years that everybody's just hitting it out of the park all season. This year especially, we ended last year strong, and we're starting this year strong. John and I are both excited about the speed of the cars. You just put yourself in that invert, and anybody can win a race from there. We've been qualifying really strong. We just need a little bit more length in these races, it seems, and I think the W's will come.
So, John, you have been primarily winning on shorter distance races compared to, say, Dalton's 200 laps at Oktoberfest. That kind of adjustment. You're getting really good at those shorter races, I would say. When it comes to the progression and knowing things, how important is it to have a guy like Dalton saying, okay, we changed this because of that, and you're in the same mindset. You guys are now, 3 years into this. You got to be clicking, I'm sure.
Yep. This is our fourth or fifth year.
Fourth, okay.
Yep, here. It's extremely important to have the whole program. This is not one when you get to the track. This is one in January, February, March. So building the team, getting a guy like Dalton Zier to sign up with us, training the whole crew year after year. Like Dalton said, our team right now, we don't even need to communicate. Everyone just knows what to do. And a lot of other teams dream of that, where we have everyone, the tire guys, the crew guys, everyone just knows what to do. So getting Dalton in here, building the program, getting the pit crew, getting TJ to do all the social media, getting our whole program with all of our sponsors to give us the funding and marketing to go do what we want to do, go do all the testing and know how we communicate and what's coming out of the cars. That's what it's all about. And that gets us all the fast times, the championships, the wins. So it's pretty cool to finally see it all come together.
You've been successful at tracks you're now going back to race more often, Marshfield and those kind of tracks. But you're still saying testing's a major part of the program. I would think, hey, wait a minute, if you're racing the same track 6 times, do you need to get a baseline? And you guys are saying absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tight game right now. I mean, we're talking about, hundreds meaning everything. And, you're never done working on them. You're never, the day that you say, oh, I'm good, I don't need to go, it's like you're getting passed. You know what I mean? So you have to keep sharpening your stick. We don't worry about other people's program. We just sharpen our stick and keep honing. And, and as we get better, we go to bigger events and challenge ourselves that way. But we're never done, sharpening our stick.
Yeah. You guys have raced at a lot of big events, and I'm talking about Wisconsin big events. We're talking about the Snowball Derby big events. You guys have been around a lot. How much do you guys change your program to match, or are you guys just so focused on, okay, these are the cars we have for 2023, we're not worried about what that guy has, we're dialing our stuff in. How often do you guys go through that process? Is it off-season changes? Because you guys have been on top of your game for a long time now.
Yep. Each year we do something different. So the Snowball, their All-American 400, the going to Bristol, that was let's go have fun. Let's try something different. Let's do something big, get some exposure. This past year we went for wins. We had Dalton up at Wisconsin International Weekly, won the championship.
Yeah.
Red, white, and blue, track championship, a bunch of wins. With me at Marshfield, same type of thing. Go up there, win the championships, get fast times, CWRA, Wisconsin Challenge Series, all that type of stuff. We were going for wins. This year, our program is just go racing. With all the politics, with rules and changes of races and this and that, we said, forget about it. We're just going to go racing. Yeah. So wherever we want to go, that's where we go, and that's what we do.
Yeah, we're not going to chase the moving dartboard. You know what I mean? We'll just go to the events that we're good at, that we're going to be competitive at. And, we want to race. John and I will race 100 times. You know what I mean? We'd go as many times as we can.
Yeah.
It's just what's, you can't be rebuilding your car for a set of rules that change next week. So that's what we're doing this year, and I think it's going to calm down. We just need to get through this, and then it's going to be calmer on the other side.
Where will we say the Gildan Racing 5B or the 119, say this weekend, next weekend? Where are you guys looking at short term?
Yep, this weekend Dalton is at the Salute the Troops 100 at Jefferson Speedway.
Saturday night, ASA Midwest Tour.
Yep, so that's pretty cool. Then we got a one-day turnaround, and then Monday I'm up at Golden Sand Speedway in Plover for the Dick Trickle 99.
That's a traditional race. That's got to be a lot of fun knowing that tradition behind it on that Monday. It's been there a long time.
Yeah, and we won that twice back-to-back, so that was pretty cool. And then next week we got 3 days in a row. Friday we are at MIS for the Alive for 5 race. Saturday back at the Dells for UMA, which is my weekly super late model. And then Sunday we have the Verona Hometown Days Parade. So we're busy. Even like this week, we're 5 of 7 days on the road. We tested yesterday up at Golden Sands. Here today, Thursday night we go to Jefferson to test. Saturday back to Jefferson. Monday to Plover. So it's a full-time gig. It takes a lot of people with a lot of hours, and it's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. But you get to play race cars, so, it's worth it, right?
Getting to play. You also got your son Maverick out there helping you guys wipe things down, right? What's his job these days?
He was actually cleaning the car today or helping
he's only
Dakota.
how old now?
He's 3 going on 4.
There you go.
And, he went through like 3 shop rags for a front fender, you know what I mean? But it's okay. It's the process. You start there and you move on and move forward. I'm very excited. I've been saying that I'm looking at a goat car October.
Oh, boy.
So just get him comfortable climbing around on it type thing. And we might do some ice racing with him if he's feeling brave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you ever done ice racing?
I have done a little bit of ice racing back when I lived in Menominee. A lot of fun. I won a race, and the other times I was like in the snowbank or whatever. I mean, it happens. It's
I've got a
full
torn
set.
sleeve from a go-kart race I tried to do in Fond du Lac on the ice. It's not worth reliving, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Racing is always fun.
Yeah.
It's just it's always
Most
fun.
of the time.
Most of the time. You have to
My
take-
jacket sleeve, it was nothing. I was trying to get out of the snowbank, and I reached back. I'm like, oh, that's for studded tires. And it chewed up my sleeve.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that's a bunch of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I encourage people just to get into any form of racing. Get started, try it, and you're going to find your new hobby, in life.
And John, you probably couldn't help it. Your dad's been around a long time, and you went, yep, let's go racing, Dad. Let's keep doing this.
Yeah, my family owned Star Motorsports. Brian Hoppy was the driver, and we traveled the whole country, learned a ton. One day I was getting bored with being part of the crew and wanted to drive, and my dad said no. And went on my own and went online and rented a car for $100 at Jefferson, and I was in the C main, the Consi, and had a blast and ended up buying that car and went up from Midwest Trucks and limited lates and super lates, and now we're doing really good. Really proud of the team.
You mentioned crew guys. A lot of guys have been with you guys a long time. Let's go through some of those folks and recognize all their contributions.
There's a lot of names, and we're not going to go through all of them because Dalton's whole team from up north, and then my whole team, and we have a ton of them. But it takes all of them. Any day I think we have too many people, next thing you know, we come in from off the track, and they are all getting to work. So,
I mean, just at Kakana there, set fast time and come into the pit stall after tech, and left front brake is leaking. So it's like, that's leaking. It's like, oh, we want to change gears for the race. And, I got guys thrashing left, right, center, and we got to get ready for the dash to get out there. It's just a chaos moment, and the car would literally just set fast time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there was nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? So you need the people. You need people that know what they're doing. And, we appreciate them, and we want to keep them around and keep them happy and keep having a great time at the racetrack.
We've got some shirts to give away after the show that have some of your sponsors on them, but I certainly want to give them their recognition, Gildan and First Business Bank and those other folks helping you.
Yeah, it's actually been a big week on the sponsorship end. Last night just signed a contract with First Business Bank for another multi-year extension on that. And then all the Gildan brands are back between Gildan, American Apparel, Comfort Colors. This is the first of a multi-year contract. And then Forward Development Group jumped in. They're a real estate group out of Verona that does a lot of stuff in the Madison area, and they just joined on for multi-years. So we're doing a great job working with all of our marketing partners, helping them out on sales and the marketing end. A lot of people don't realize the amount of effort that we put into our sponsors. They're just not on board because of the race car. They're on board of how we can work with them and introduce them to the motorsports community.
Yep.
And it's a big part of what we do that most of the people don't know about or understand here.
A lot goes in the right direction when you guys are involved, and all that experience is paying off for you guys, winning those races. And I know that last year, for example, Wisconsin International Raceway, that beautiful 5-ace that who knows how to get around it. Well, Dalton did it well enough where you guys went for, a couple races, maybe a tune-up for the Tundra race, and then it got rained out. You're like, wait a minute, we're in the points here now.
Yeah, the plan was to run the red, white, and blue series.
Yeah.
And we decided that we wanted to run the week before the red race.
Okay, it was that red race. Okay, sure.
For a shakedown. So we went to that and won the opening night. Then we won the red race, and we're like 40 points ahead of second. And we're like, well, I guess we're doing this. And so they asked if I wanted to run Thursday nights. I said sure. And it turns out I didn't realize it was a 16-race series. It's a long grind.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of fun. I mean, those WIR guys are a good group to race with, and it's a Thursday night, so it doesn't impact your Saturday shows. But that was a pretty good grind for the crew to pick up that additional, 14 events.
all the more credit to your track championships, plural, last year with all that added racing, and it really paid off this well. And I'm wishing you guys nothing but the best this coming season. Looking forward to seeing you racing this Saturday night, Jefferson Speedway, the Salute the Troops 100. And you get to go place Monday at Golden Sands. Looking forward to following up on what's going on there.
Yeah. Yep.
How about I say for Gildan Racing's John Beal and Dalton Zier. Thanks, guys, for coming on the show. Really appreciate all your efforts to be here. And you got a lot going on, so I appreciate you spending a Tuesday night with us, and I hope everything pays off from that test at Golden Sands yesterday, and we'll get rolling through what we can do here on the program. We have Alex Pekorski hanging out with us. He is now finished with his meal at Polly's. We're going to have Alex on the show talking about that beautiful sprint car outside. He's got some racing in this season. He said this past weekend wasn't the greatest, but guess what? He was running up front when something happened. We'll talk to him about his season and how he's progressing in the next generation of Pekorski racers here on the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the #1 replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
Eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races. Hook up with Boring Bob's Escorted NASCAR Racing Tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, race tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack to get you in and out fast. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Daytona, Bristol, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and more. He has decades of experience and industry contacts galore. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Need a pack and move? Well, we do a lot of them. And we have all the proper materials to pack your belongings safe and sound so they arrive in the same condition as they went out in. Packing boxes, bubble wrap, mirror packs, lamp boxes, dish packs. We get the job done right. Packed and labeled properly so it all ends up in the right spot in your new place. This is Rick Vanderboom. Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage will improve your move.
BlueMountainExpress.com. We will improve your move.
Statewide.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back, everybody, for this Tuesday evening. Next Tuesday, join us at the Cellar for Oak Creek Automotive Night. That's our first D'Angelo's Construction Roadshow of the season. Looking forward to seeing you in Oak Creek next Tuesday night. We also want to thank our friends at Schlafer Auto Body for presenting this portion of the program. They've been at it since 1974. 4 generations of racers can get your next auto body repair done the right way. They work with all insurance companies. Seek them out in Lannon at Schlafer Auto Body on Facebook, and they've got a lot of cool things cooking. Danny Schlafer racing a really good race car. He finished well into the points last year in the 410 IRA Sprint Series in his first time there. He is also one of the winningest drivers in the MSA 360 points, actually in overall race victories. He's raced a lot with the family of Pekorskis, but let's welcome in the next generation, Alex Pekorski, to the show. Alex, thanks for bringing down that beautiful sprint car tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Talked to your dad off and on. I think the last time I spoke with him literally was when you were just about to get some seat time. How much were you anticipating that a couple years ago?
I wouldn't say I was expecting it, but I had a little bit of a inkling that I might get a chance for a couple nights, but I definitely didn't think it'd turn into what it has today. The first year and a half, maybe, I was kind of splitting time with him as he was phasing his way out of full-time racing, and I got to race our family car, and then last year and then this year, Spider and Akerite Auto hopped in and gave me a car to drive for full-time, so that's been a really cool experience.
It is. I want to go back to those first couple of races you got to drive. You finally got the chance, and there's Dad in the pits telling you what you did right and wrong. Were you ever, at any point did you say, Dad, I know your turn's next week. Can I drive next week too? Can you wait another week to drive? How'd you guys balance that, or did he kick you out at any point? That's another question I want to ask.
No, I don't think I got kicked out any nights. He was pretty patient with me, I guess, as I was learning, and just tried to keep giving me tips and pointers as I was going. and we kind of just split 50-50 for the most part. And if I had commitments with school or something, then he would be in the car most of the time, and then I'd kind of hop in 50-50 where I could. So
Your dad raced a lot, won a lot of races in that beautiful blue number 4 sprint car. You probably went with him all the time. Did you race anything prior to splitting time with Dad? Or did you have time to do that before you got a chance to run a sprint car?
yeah, I started at Slinger Racing, the Memorial Go-Kart Series. That was a cool event. I did that starting in roughly 7th grade, I think, and did that throughout high school. And then for a couple years in the middle there, I also raced dirt go-kart at a couple different tracks in Wisconsin. That was a cool thing to do for 2 years. So I had some go-kart experience before hopping in the big cars. So.
Did that go-kart on dirt ovals help you at all in the initial feel, or was this a whole different beast when you got that wing on top of that fire-breathing 360?
It's a whole different animal. In the dirt go-karts, they're a lot of fun, but you don't get sideways at all, and you don't have as much of a suspension and stuff as you do as in a sprint car, and the wings and all that, and the horsepower, the size of the car, everything's totally different. It took a bit of a learning curve, but getting the hang of it now. So
we're going to touch on what we talked about in the parking lot as you rolled that car in and put the wing on top to display here at the show. You said this past weekend didn't go as well as planned thanks to a lapper, but in reality, you were in contention last couple weeks. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, this year we started really well. The car's been fast every night. We got a new car out this year thanks to Spider and all of our sponsors, and the thing's been fast. Each of our 3 nights we've gotten in, we were running at the front every night. First night we were 5th, the second night we were 3rd, and we were running 2nd this past weekend, and then the lapper spun out right ahead of me. I had nowhere to go and had to restart from the rear. The crew did well to get me back out, but the track was taking rubber at that point, and it was tough to make progress back forward from there. So got a couple, but not as many as I would have liked.
Hang on with Alex Pekorski, who now has a teammate on occasion named Dad. Tell us how that came about, where Dad's back racing now as a teammate with you.
Yeah, Spider loves racing, but sometimes he's got other stuff on that he likes to do as well, so he'll kind of occasionally hop out of his car, and then my dad hops in and gets to race a couple nights here and there. He did it a couple times last year, and then this past weekend he did as well. So it's cool to share the track with your dad. Not something I thought I'd get the chance to do, I guess.
What was it like the first time you rolled up next to Dad or ran in the same heat race, or you saw him push off of the feature and you're 2 rows behind him? What was that feeling like? Because a lot of us won't get that chance to do that.
It's really cool, but once you're out there on the track, he's just another competitor, and you try not to race him too hard, I guess. Even though you want to beat him, you got to make sure we don't wreck each other in the process. But it's cool to share the track with him and compete against him.
Last question about your dad. You guys keeping score? Who's beat who the most? Who has more heat wins? Who has positions, like 1 per position point standings?
Nothing that intense, but he's beat me the first couple times I raced against him. But then, like this last weekend, I ended up beating him actually, and then I think last year we were in a B main together, and I won that one. So I got 2 races over him. I think he got 2 or 3 over me. So
not that we're keeping score. We don't do that here. No, we're not keeping score. Dad's just kind of nodding and smiling. It's got to be fun though, doing this as a family. And now you've got involvement with other people that say, I want to support you guys and do this and have more fun doing it. How much racing time do you have committed to this? You have a real job, I'm guessing. You've got other commitments, and now you've got a chance to race with some team owners getting involved with what you're doing.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I just graduated college actually this year, so now I'm out applying the jobs and whatnot, and working a part-time job right now, and then doing the racing thing on the weekends, and get a night in the garage to fix the car during the week and do maintenance and stuff, and then off to the racetrack.
So you're not just bringing the helmet to the shop and saying, boys, I'm ready now. You want me to seat fitting? Okay, I'll be here in half an hour and I got to leave? No?
No, not quite. No. We do a good amount of work on it during the week. I try to help out as much as I can. So.
That's got to be important, too, when you get behind the wheel and get the feel of it. Like, okay, I know we changed that. Let's feel what it feels like. With the competition of the MSA 360 sprint cars, great car counts, a lot of veterans racing year after year after year. And there's guys like you with 2 or 3 years in this now. It's got to be a fun mix to be part of and knowing what you're up against on a given night and the satisfaction of doing well.
Yeah, it's really cool to get out there with guys that I grew up watching and be able to compete with them now. This year we've been running up into the front with guys like Lance Fosbender, Ben Schmidt, Brandon McMullen, all these guys that are really good.
They all won championships, by the way. Lance won a feature Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool to be up there racing with the guys that I used to watch from the stands, and I've been enjoying it.
When it comes to the schedule, what is your commitment now? What are you guys looking at, and how far out do you guys plan? We're finding there's a lot of options available for other forms of racing, but MSA 360s has a standard Plymouth Saturday night and also some traveling involved.
Yeah, our main shows are at Saturdays at Plymouth. We're planning to run all those, and then we'll run, I think, all of the traveling shows as well, all the MSA stuff, try and hit 100% of the shows. So that's the plan moving forward. We got a couple at Wilmont coming up this Saturday. We're there, and then we're back there later in the year. We got Beaver Dam and Sun Prairie coming up as well. And then, yeah, I think a couple other tracks in there, too.
Are any of those tracks on your list of I'm glad we're going there? I don't want to talk about the ones you don't want to go to because you probably have some of those, too.
I mean, Wilmont this Saturday, I ran there once last year, and we had a good result there. So I'm looking forward to going back there again. And then the Dodge County Beaver Dam track, that one's a big animal to tame. And that one, I got a couple laps there last year, but looking forward to going back there. That's a fun track, and it's fast and fun to race there. So.
A lot upcoming. Where can we find you on that social media stuff?
We've got Pekorski Motorsports on Facebook. I started up an Instagram account that's ap4.racing. And then I started doing a little bit of stuff with a GoPro on the car, and that's on YouTube at Alex Pekorski, I think, is just under my name. But,
all right. That's got to be fun.
Yeah.
Do you learn stuff when you post that stuff? Because you're too busy driving to kind of study film. Does that help you at all?
Yeah, a little bit here and there. I can see a little bit times when I made mistakes or things that I could need to iron out a little bit before moving to future races and stuff. But, yeah. It's kind of nice to have, and it's kind of fun to watch, especially you have a little more time to look around at what's happening around you that you don't always notice when you're in the car because you're focused on hitting your marks or finding a way around a car or something, and you can rewind and watch stuff happen again. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it is fun. We're going to follow along as well. Now we know where we can go shopping and watch what you do. In terms of that beautiful race car up front, you've got a bunch of folks on there. Let's take some time and talk about the people who are supporting your 2023 schedule, Alex.
Yeah, first and foremost, Spider and Jackie and Acre Auto. For the second year in a row, they've given me a wonderful car to drive. So big thank you to them. Peterson Septic Systems is with us. They were sponsored my dad for a little while, and then now they're helping me out. They've been with us for a while, and so have Gaydon's Auto Body. We also have Countryside Designs. They joined us this year. Pedal Down Promotions does all of our social media stuff. He's been with us for a number of years now. Novak Service Center, another guy that's been with us for a long time. Wisconsin Bank and Trust, Homestead Auto, Cedar Valley Hunt Club, all those guys joined us this year and a little bit of last year. And then actually this past Saturday, just talked with Russ Wattenkamp at Mulch Express of Wisconsin, and they're going to join us for the rest of the season. So we're super grateful to have all those people on board with us, and the support's been really great for this season. So
who'd you bring with you tonight with the race car?
Oh, I got my fiance Abby, my parents, and then my cousin Ian. They're all coming out to support, and we got a couple other people that help us out along the way. The crew is Dave, Randy, Ian, Dan, Brian, Charlie, and Aaron. Occasionally Kevin will stop out and help us too. There's a lot of people. It's kind of been a family thing for us. A lot of aunts and uncles are involved and help us get a four-wheeler to the track or help us work on stuff in the garage or give us garage space to use. Grandparents are involved, so it's been a cool process.
That is really neat to have that many people around you that care about what's going on and want you to get those victories piled up in no time. Anybody else you want to thank?
I think that covers it.
All right.
Yeah.
I know you got a list. I want to make sure. Like, wait a minute, that one guy.
Yeah.
No, that's cool to have you on for the first show. How about I stand for Alex Pekorski for the first time, hopefully of many, on the Racing Roundup Show. Alex, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you coming down. He's going to sign the Bob Trado sign right at backdrop. We'll give you a brief rundown of NASCAR. Thanks to our friends at Interstate Batteries. The NASCAR report is brought to you by Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin. They have a battery for every one of your needs. Check out where you can buy them at interstatebatteries.com. If you didn't know already, Kyle Larson is the man. He was on his own level racing in North Wilkesboro on Sunday night. They pitted for tires on lap 18 of 200. Never pitted again. Had a 13-second lead by halfway through and paced himself for the remainder. Bubba Wallace and Trackhouse teammate Tyler Reddick finished second and third ahead of Chase Briscoe and Chase Elliott. Josh Berry won the 100-lap All-Star Showdown, the Open, to get that chance to race in the big one. for $1 million. Slinger, Wisconsin residents Josh Blischke finished 10th in the Open and did not transfer. Noah Gregson won the fan vote to race in the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. I'm guessing they're going to do that again next year. I think North Wilkesboro is a fitting place, and I hope they do at least one more year. I don't think it was a one and done there. They did a lot of improvements, and it was really cool to be part of that vibe on Tuesday and Wednesday when I was there before the NASCAR Truck Series rolled in, and Kyle Larson won that one too. But Ty Majeski with a 2-tire change, man, late in the race, in the truck race, if you were watching or not, Ty Majeski's crew chief, Joe Shear Jr., decided to take 2 tires. Ty got track position. Only Larson was able to roll past him on an overtime restart, and Ty finished second. That's his 6th top 10 this season. He's right there in the points, just 10 points out of the point lead of Zane Smith, who had a rough go at North Wilkesboro. They're racing this weekend the Coke 600 at Charlotte for the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series. ARCA's there on Friday night. A lot going on. We'll get you up to speed next week on our program as well with all things in the world of motorsports. Big thanks to our crew tonight. We want to thank you, and we'll join you next Tuesday at the Cellar in Oak Creek for Oak Creek Automotive Night. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, for the address and directions. But tonight we want to give a special thanks to our crew, Dave Schmalzer, Greg Lapine, Dean Strom, Sherry Prague, Bruce Blodgett, Mark Goodman, from a distance, Matt Rapina, and my son, Sam Trado. Thanks, Sam, for taking the controls tonight. Appreciate it. He and I are going to the Indy 500 this Sunday. I'm excited for that. Hopefully you get a chance to spend your Memorial Day weekend with family at the racetrack. Make sure you set your DVRs, support your local racing, and have at it, racers. We'll see you Tuesday at the Cellar in Oak Creek.
We hope you enjoyed our show. Like our show on Facebook and share our show with your friends. Follow and interact with us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. To listen and watch our shows on demand, visit our website, racingroundupshow.com. We are delivering fresh content every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until next time, race fans, this is Dean Strom reminding you to support your local racetracks.